All right, peace, y'all. How y'all feeling? Hope y'all are having a good weekend on this Saturday. The weather is beautiful today on our end. Me got out for a little bit today. Clearly, I'm here doing some work at this point. So let's dive right into it. Why am I here today? Why we're having this conversation today? I want to mention to you one of our favorite auctions that is coming up in a matter of about another week and a half. That's Michigan. The state of Michigan is having their annual auction. By far, this is one of our favorite auctions. If you've been following us for any substantial amount of time, you may have heard me mention, I'm sure you've heard me mention that entry level investing for us is done through something that we call tax deed auctions. This is a tax deed auction. The state of Michigan is a tax deed state, right? My community, we participated in this auction for the past 2 years. We've done really well each year that we participated in this auction. So I want to spend some time about that. I want to talk to you about how you can get involved in this Michigan auction, why you should get involved, and everything that it offers. So coming from a tax deed perspective, the Acre Boys, our mission just has been just to get you involved. Our mission just have been to, I read about it this week. Our mission, what is it? How it's going to be in August. How it's going to be in August and September is a 3-month auction. The auction runs for 2 months, 2 to 3 months. All right, but anyway, our mission has been to get the message out there about some of these things that some of us in our culture may not know about, may not have heard about, may have not been participating in. One thing that we talk about a lot in our community is we don't have enough conversations about finances. We don't have enough education around finances that's readily available. Yeah, sure, you can use AI, you can chat GPT, all of these things. It'll spit out a bunch of stuff that you should be doing. I know for us, right? We study wealth, and every wealthy person portfolio, what you're going to find is you're going to find real estate. In that real estate portfolio, you're going to find ownership of land. In any real estate, the land is the primary asset. You cannot have a building, you cannot have a home, you cannot have a skyscraper without it sitting on what? All right. So that's the first asset that they must acquire to even pull off these feats. So let's start there. That's how valuable it is. Many of them are aware of these auctions that go on. This is where you can buy properties for pennies on the dollar. That's what a tax deed auction is. This is property that a landowner, or a homeowner was in ownership of. They failed to pay the taxes on the property, and the state took the property back. Now, the state has no use for the property because the state is in the business of doing what? The state is in the business of collecting taxes. This is how counties functions. That's how you have your libraries, your school system, your school budgets, and everything else that taxpaying dollars cover. So the state is eager to get it back in the ecosystem, get it back into a person's hands so they can pay the taxes on the property. More taxes being paid, bigger the budgets are for that county. This has been going on since the beginning of time. This is not a new practice. So they offer it at what we call a tax sale auction for discounted prices. Michigan is no different from no other state. Michigan has an annual sale that they do once a year. When I say it's one of the best auctions, and we study auctions, we participate in auctions, we participated in a lot of auctions. We kind of know what's out there on the scene. So, in our personal opinion, I feel it's definitely top 3 out of all the auctions I've ever dealt with. It may be number 1, and I'll explain why, because of the way Michigan spells things out and the usability and the functionality of their auction and their site. The way they do things at that auction is second to none. And plus, good deals come from that auction. Really good deals come from that auction, right? We had inside of our community. I'll tell you how it runs. It's going to be an eBay style. In fact, comment the word, if you're on Instagram, comment the word Michigan to register for this training. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, the link should be posted. If you're on Facebook, you can comment Michigan as well to get the link to register for that. I've decided to do a training this Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I decided to do a training on this Michigan auction to show you exactly how it works, to show you what you may be missing out on, to show you if you want to get involved in it, how you participate in it, to show you when to participate in it, to show you how to stand the best chance or position yourself the best chance to win an auction or a bid coming out of that auction. All right. It will last for 3 months. You won't buy everything there because it's a 3-month auction. There's a lot of things, and they auction off everything at that auction. They'll auction off houses. They'll auction off cottages. They'll auction off lakefront property. They'll often auction off vacant land. They'll auction off commercial lots. Everything is going into that auction. Clearly, Acre Boys, we focus on vacant land, but I don't know where you live. If you live in Michigan, you may want to focus on a home site. You may want to focus on a cottage. I don't know what your goal is or your end goal is, but it's all in that auction. And sometimes it's really great properties. Although we preach land all the time, I'm not afraid. We have bought houses from auctions before. All right. So Monday, I'm going to do a training. I'm going to break it down on how you get involved in that auction, why you should be involved in this auction. You'll see on Monday, once you show up, you'll see how user-friendly it is, and you'll see why we say it's top tier and it's one of the best auctions. All right. As I stated, 2 years ago, we found from that auction, we found a property for $100 because they do something. This is why you should know the rules of these auctions, because after the time is up, after the auction has completed itself, right, they do something to where they have a re-auction for things that didn't sell. Does that mean it's a bad property because it didn't sell? Not necessarily. That's like asking, is it a bad property because it's in the auction? Not necessarily. Doesn't make it a bad property because it's in the auction. That's land investing. That's what we have to figure out. Why is it in the auction? So you need to have a little education before you put your money out, because we reverse things. Most people look at it and say, hey, all I see is the money. I look at it from the opposite end and I say, well, why, if this is money on the table, how did it get here and why is it here? And we teach you how to have that same eye. Now, does that mean that these properties are not good? No, that's not what that means. People could just be done with the properties, and especially when it comes to vacant land. Many times they've got their use out of the property. If it was recreational land, I'm done with it. I'm not going to pay the taxes on it no more. They let it go. It's not like, if they don't pay the taxes, it damages their credit or anything like that. That's what most people don't know. So somebody asked me, how often do I pay taxes on tax board property that I own? And the answer is never. I never pay taxes on it. I'm considered to be a land flipper. So my strategy is to sell it. How often do you pay taxes? Once a year. So if I can't get it sold within 1 year's time, it probably says that something is wrong with the property and I bought a bad deal. I'm not going to pay the taxes on it. I'm going to let them foreclose on it. I'm not penalized for it. It doesn't go on my credit report. All that will happen is they will take ownership, retake ownership of the property. So that's why I never pay taxes on tax bought properties. So picking good properties to make money on, we do that just to ensure we can have a successful sale. I don't want properties that I can't sell. I don't need to have an inventory of useless properties. So my community over the last 2 years have done extremely well. Michigan, at this auction, you can find properties as low. Once that auction is over, as I stated, they have an auction, a re-auction, or they call it a surplus list of properties that didn't sell. What they do with the surplus list is they even discount it even further. That auction, that bid starts at a whopping $100. It could go up depending on the property, but we caught one that slipped through the cracks. Bid started at $100. My investor in my community, she bidded it up to $300. The property was worth about $8,000. That is a home run of a deal when it comes to tax deed investing. But you have to be in the game. You have to be there. If you're not there, you don't stand a chance. And this is all we're doing is just looking to give you alternative ways to invest. I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know what your goals are. We're here just to give you an alternative avenue and ways to make money. In real estate, we all know, has always been a great way to generate income. Now, if you win a bid, you don't have to sell it. I'm not telling you what to do. It's yours to do whatever you like to do. So if you live in Michigan, go acquire you something. You may want to just hold it in your portfolio. I have a young man that's in my program. He does well for himself. He doesn't have any children. It allows him to move around. He's not hurting for any money. He has a great job. So he goes out to tax sale auctions and he just buys. He just buys to accumulate, to have in his portfolio. Now he's the owner of over 40 deeds. And if he ever needs to liquidate, then he sells. But land only appreciates. So while he's holding on to them, yes, when you hold on to them, using that strategy, you have to pay the taxes on them. But how much is the taxes on vacant land? Some of these properties is $20 for the year. Some of them we've seen $2 for the year, and that was on a 2-acre. It's extremely low. The carrying cost of land is extremely low. So that philosophy works for him. He's holding on, watching the market, and when he's ready to liquidate, he's sitting on cash. This is what a lot of rich people do. They'll find a hot area. They'll buy. I'll tell you what, like a hot area would be. Hour away from the city of Atlanta. Hour and a half away. If you buy property, land in any of those areas, even if you bought it at retail price today, on this date, and just hold on it, sit on it, do nothing to it. Don't put a structure on it. Don't clean it up. Don't do anything to it. And I promise you, 5 years later, the value would have went up by 10 to 20 or maybe higher percent. So that's what a lot of people, wealthy people, do to hedge inflation and things like that. They'll buy vacant land, park their money there in a hot area because they know it's appreciating. Low risk. So comment the word Michigan. It's not going to be a long live today. I want to get that message out. I want to see you at that training so you can participate in this auction on Monday. I'll be doing the auction alongside with my partner. I'll be doing the auction. I'll be doing the training alongside with my partner. And I'll tell you everything that you need to know about it. Everything that you need to know about this auction will be said on Monday. All right. Hope y'all are having a good week. That's my PSA for today. And I hope to see you there. All right. Peace. Love. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.